JavaScript or React? Hello and welcome back to Code Emily. Today we're going to be talking about state, which I'm super excited about because it's one of the most important things in React. React itself is defined as a component-driven library. Inside of all of those components, each one can have their own state. State is exactly what it sounds like. What is the state of this thing? Is the button disabled or not? Is the page in a loading state, an error state, or is it good to go?
Example time!
Let's dive into an example about adding buttons to adjust the number of apples and pears via state. First, we're going to grab the useState hook from React. Then we'll use the useState hook to keep track of the apples via state. Let's dive into what I'm doing here exactly. The first item in this array is the variable we will use to keep track of our state. The second item in this array is the function we will use to update that variable at any given time. The useState hook is then called as a function where you set the initial state as the argument. In this case, if you displayed apple count, it would show 0 because that's what we set the initial state to. Quick side note, the little initial state grayed out words are not necessary whatsoever. It's just my IDE adding that in to be smart. Next, we'll display the apple count on the page. You can display a variable inside the React component by using these curly brackets and putting the variable name inside. Let's do the exact same thing for the pear count and also set the initial state to 0. Here I'm just doing a little bit of code maintenance, wrapping the data in a div to properly display and organize it. I'm going to add the block to display the fruit total here. So what I'll do is add up the two variables because inside the curly brackets you can actually add pure JavaScript. Then we can add the corresponding block to display the pear count. The last thing we need to do is add the button so we can actually update the state for apples and pears. First, we'll add the button tag, and inside of the button tag, we'll add the text we want to display on the button. Here's where we'll write the code to use the button to update state. We're going to add an onClick event, which will get called every single time you click this button. Then we'll call the function we created earlier to update the apple count state, and inside of this function, we'll update the count by 1. We're going to do the same exact thing for the pear count. The only difference is that we're going to, of course, write pear, and also the onClick function will include the set pear count instead of set apple count. And here you can see our finished product. You'll notice that every time we add a pear or we add an apple, the fruit total will increase. The reason for this is that every time state is updated, the entire component will re-render and refresh. That's why the fruit total is updated when apple and pear state is changed. This will become more apparent the deeper we go into React.
I do also want to mention that there are some components that do not have any state at all. Those are referred to as stateless components, and some people also call them dummy components. Really, all these components are just components that do not have any state, and they also don't have anything like lifecycle methods because there's no type of re-rendering going on, anything like that. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, definitely stay tuned for more. We'll have tons more videos coming on React, TypeScript, and also just inner workings of being a software engineer in the field right now. Stay tuned.